Hey, Alan here for Untitled Outfitters. We've been talking about reflex sights on handguns. So we got a couple of examples here. This particular sight that's on either one of these guns is Holosun's HS507C. Now, red dot sights started life on handguns that are about this size, full-size guns. And they started life with the competition shooters, Steel Challenge and all that sort of thing, because they could move very fast between targets using a single dot sight rather than lining up the front sight and the rear sight. It makes a lot of sense. So here we have a Glock pattern weapon that has a custom sight on it, or a custom slide on it, excuse me. So the Holosun mounts to the optics cutout directly on that. Here we have a Walther Q5 match. Still mounts directly to the cutout, does away with the rear sight on this one, and has just a little bit different mounting design on the bottom, but it still mounts and works fine. We shot both of these guns today on the range just to see how they were. Pretty good. I mean, full-size guns are very controllable anyway, and it's really nice when you have a single aim point sight like this on it. These are adjustable for brightness, but this particular one has an interesting feature. It has a solar panel up on top. So when you're out in the sunshine, and if you shot anything with a dot or a sight of this type on anything at all, you know if you get out in bright sunshine, the sunshine tends to obscure it a little bit, so you got to make it brighter to see it. Well, the solar panel automatically adjusts. So when you get out in the sunlight, it makes the reticle brighter so you can see it. You get back in the shade, and we tested this, moving from shade to sunlight and back and forth. Works fine. When you move into the shade, it dims it back down a little bit, because when you've got dark conditions around you, you don't want the thing to be so bright that it obscures what you're trying to shoot at. So this has an automatic adjustment to do that. All of these things, we've talked before in a different little video about the smaller one, the 507K, the really tiny one right here. All of them have windage and elevation adjustments. So when you mount it up, if you need to move it, get it down to where you want it to be, you can do that. In this particular gun, the Walther, it doesn't co-witness with the irons because there is no rear iron. You got to take it off and put it on there. On this one, it does have a rear iron sight. And because of where it sets, it co-witnesses through the lower part of the screen. So if the sight was down for some reason, or you wanted to use the irons, or maybe you wanted to zero the dot for one range and keep the irons for another range, you could do that if you have that ability. So something to think about. Something that's kind of nice about these, it applies to the small one, the K, and these too. Something that's kind of nice. Some of the red dot sights that are out there, when you mount them up on a pistol like this and you reach the point, you know, the battery life's like 50,000 hours, so it's a few years. So it's not a big deal. But when you reach the point when you have to change the battery, because sooner or later you'll have to change the battery, you got to dismount the sight to do it. Not so with these. They have a battery compartment that's on the side of the sight. So you loosen the screw and pull that battery compartment out, change the battery without having to dismount the sight. So you have no issues with needing to re-zero it or anything of that nature. I talked before in another video, you know, part of what makes these things feasible is the fact that you've got batteries now that will last for years, even though they're on. You've got rugged miniature electronics, so the whole thing isn't real big, but it's designed to stand up to the forces that it's going to experience when a slide is rapidly moving back and forth. These things work pretty good. They hold up well. A lot of good features on them. On this one particular, that ability, that solar panel, which helps keep the battery charged but also adjusts the brightness, is a very nice touch that adds no additional footprint to the basic sight itself. So these things, again, to put, one question comes up, what gun can you put them on? Well, if you get gunsmithing done on it, so you've got a cutout on the back of the slide, you can put it on probably almost anything. There may be some technical reasons why some are more difficult than others, but you need to consult with a gunsmith about that. But they'll mount on a lot of things if you get the gunsmithing done to create the footprint on the slide for the sight to attach to it. Some things like this come optics ready. They've got a plate back here that just comes off. You take the plate off and it's set up. It's ready to go. The optic can go right on it. You can attach it yourself. Zeroing these things is pretty good, pretty easy to accomplish as long as your iron sights are properly zeroed. Move your reticle in the sight to where it sits on top of your front sight when you have a correct sight picture, and you should be right there, pretty close to where you want to be for the normal ranges you're going to shoot these things at. A very interesting technological development, and it's gaining ground as we speak. There are more and more guns that are coming set up to take an optic, and there's a lot of them that are coming from the manufacturers with the optics already installed. So it's definitely something that we're seeing a moving trend in. So we're going to have some of these things, and it's definitely worth looking into if you're a pistol shooter and maybe you're used to iron sights and you just want to try something different. Mentioned before, people with glasses, bifocals, things like that, or other sorts of vision issues. Sometimes a sight like this can make a big difference in your comfort and ability to shoot it without having to fight with two different things, a rear sight and a front sight. So worth taking a look at. So that's all we've got for now. Until next time, thanks for watching. I'm Alan for Old English Outfitters.